If you really want to stop fighting, you need to stop supplying weapons.
So it wouldn't do any good if Putin contacted Biden, because Biden's not controlling the country. Biden is a puppet for the military-industrial complex who is controlling the country. Okay? So, and that's what most of the presidents, unfortunately, have been puppets for them, because they're intimidated or whatever it is, or they have something on them. And that's why most of the House and the Congress on both sides of the aisle are anybody pushing the Department of Government efficiency, which is it's being used as a distraction in a way, but it's a distraction that Trump is using to his advantage. Because if you remember when Trump was in office before, he said he's watched, his lifetime, the presidents get up there, or the Pentagon giving some, press conference and basically giving away what they're going to do in whatever war they're going into, and giving away everything to the enemies when they do that. He said, if we have any wars, we are not, and there wasn't any wars under Trump, but you could say there's been a war against the American people. There's been a psychological war. So he has said that we're not going to tell you in advance what we're going to do. So all of these people tied to the military-industrial complex have never wanted Trump to be back in the White House, and they're still determined not to let him get in. They won't be successful, but this is one of those people. Elon Musk says he withheld Starlink over Crimea to avoid escalation. This is your shadow government. It is. I mean, first of all, whatever you want to think about Ukraine and Russia, okay, that he has been elected to nothing. Nothing. And you think all those satellites going in the sky, what do you think that's all about? There's a reason that on every social media, there's no free speech anywhere. Even on Truth, I'd be shadow banned. I don't never have my account removed or any of that. I never get any warnings, nothing like that. But I don't believe anybody that's running, I don't believe that anybody that's running Truth would silence people, because Trump isn't about that. So that's not happening. So how is there being able to control people on every social media platform? Well, because of his satellites that have been going up in the air. SpaceX's private control of satellite internet concerns military leaders. This was 2023. We worry that if we order devices from Starlink, we'll fall into some sort of trap. Because Musk controls the switch. Elon Musk has the off switch. With both X and Starlink under his control, the world's richest man wields unprecedented power. Yeah, he does. So most people might think, well, then maybe he's working with Trump, okay? Because you listen to the alternative podcasters, which they're your new mainstream media, and they were people that push Elon Musk, but they go overboard with it. And then they expose themselves, but they do the bidding for the military-industrial complex. They do. There's a reason they're allowed. There's a reason they have millions of followers. They want these podcasters to have millions of followers. Because even though they'll give you some truth, there's a point to where they won't go to. Just think of all the questions Joe Rogan could have asked Trump and he didn't. That you would have asked. Haven't you ever thought that in many? I mean, there's so many podcasts. I'm like, why didn't you ask this question? Why didn't you ask that? No, because they're controlled. And here's the reason I say that. Musk once said Trump would be too old at the end of the second term to be president. Kamala Harris's campaign reshared an alleged old post by the Tesla founder stating why Trump should not win another term as president. So this was a fact check done in August of 2024. And it said that was correct. Musk did say this on X in July 2022, but it was only one half of his post. The second half read, if Ron DeSantis runs against Biden in 2024, then DeSantis will easily win. He doesn't even need to campaign. It was a red flag to me, and I did videos about it when many of these podcasters, the same thing they've been doing with Musk, they were doing a couple years ago with DeSantis. They were pushing so hard for DeSantis, and I sat back and I'm like, is this really just, oh, they think that this person will be better in office, or are they basically controlled? They're controlled. Because, first of all, DeSantis was an easy one to check into and figure out, no, he's part of the swamp. He's controlled. So that's why they wanted him. That's the reason Elon Musk wanted him. But I think most of the American people sit back and say, well, everybody can believe or everybody can support who they want to support. And that's true. That's true. Except that what should be alarming to you is that these podcasters didn't tell you about the ties with Ron DeSantis. Just like they won't tell you to this day about the problems with Elon Musk and all of his connections to the military-industrial complex, or RFK Jr.'s connections. There's a reason they don't tell you. Because just like they did with DeSantis, they're doing now with Musk and RFK Jr. They're pushing those two more than Trump. They don't support Trump. The military-industrial complex and the players that do the bidding for them, they had to reconfigure because they couldn't push DeSantis over the line because there was too many American people that they saw that were going to support Trump. So then they reconfigure themselves and say, okay, we have to have a different strategy. So we're going to get as many people that do the bidding for the military-industrial complex to infiltrate Trump's campaign. And it's not going to be successful. But then Trump puts them out there. He puts them out there. Because there's no reason. Why would Musk support DeSantis? I mean, but that's an easy question people should ask themselves. Like, you know that what Trump was trying to do was good things in office. So then why, if these people support America, like they say they do, all these podcasters, then why were they pushing the very people that were tied to the swamp? And I think most Americans just say, well, that's their prerogative. Yeah, but many of them are podcasters that investigate things right on their show. You know, they do look things up. But they didn't with those things. So the same thing they did with, they're doing with Musk and RFK Jr. is the same thing they did with DeSantis. And it was so aggravating. So if you think Trump doesn't know who all these people are, or if you fall into the trap that it tells you then Trump's part of it, no, he's not. But he said that that his administration wouldn't disclose in advance what they're going to do. So with the kind of power that Elon Musk has with his private companies and their connections to the military-industrial complex, he has a vested interest to prevent Trump. And he won't. That's the reason he's like right on his coattails constantly. It's not going to do him any good. I think I read today that he now has bought a house that's really close to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, because he wants to be in on everything. But just like Trump has said, who's running the country right now? It's not Biden. Biden's barely alert. Biden's not running anything. And that should show you that presidents haven't been running anything. It's been the shadow government. Because just like Musk decided, well, I'm not going to turn on Starlink, he's somebody that's elected to nothing that just makes that decision. And you can say it's right or wrong all you want, but he's been elected to nothing. Those are the people that have been making the decisions. So it's important to see who all the podcasters are because of what they promote and what they don't promote, what they tell you and what they don't tell you. That swamp is wide and deep.